Okay, so today we are going to take a look at a battery install for a Google Nest Gen 3. What we have here is the Nest thermostat is already taken apart. The wiring plate can come out, um, and then uh, the original battery and the actual, I think is that's a wiring interface plate. So now we have the new battery. So the new battery, I looked up online. There, a lot of them are using this model number. It was the TL something. I'll put it in the description. It's a little bit different than what the original battery it was named, I guess, or the different model numbers than the original battery. But most places said that they are compatible, so that's what I end up getting. This one, I believe, has a little bit more capacity. So comparing the physical sizes, they are about almost the same. I think the new batteries are just tiny little bit bigger. Um, so here what we're doing is, I believe we need to line up the new battery, install it, and then obviously install it. The new battery kit came with a bunch of screwdrivers. Um, I don't know why they came with that many. And This thermostat only uses Philips. So they came with a bunch of like weird ones. I believe the kit is actually for probably phones. It's got the SIM card ejector or pin. Anyways, I'm using the iFix tool kit with the small Phillips screwdriver. There are 4 screws holding this plate here, and you will need to twist a little bit to unlock it from its position to take this plate out, and then the new battery will sit underneath it. This is the part where it takes a little bit. It does rotate, so what I end up using is using a screwdriver to kind of move it a little bit, loosen up a little bit. When you take this off for the first time, it's going to feel like much harder than it really is. Once you have that plate out, be careful with the main screen. There is nothing holding it in place. It will come out. So now that I am trying to line up the battery, it does fit in there pretty good. At least from this view, there is no specific size or position that it needs to be in. It came with double-sided tapes, so I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. So then the adapter plate or plate with the connector goes into this other plate. I think I might have it backwards. Looking to see how this is going to fit. I took it apart a while back, so it's hard to remember. So yeah, there you go. So now that it's going back in, it does lock. As you can see, the thing slides back and forth. That'll keep the white plate lock into the black plate. Put that aside. I think now I'm just trying to sort of test fit the battery. The connector only fits one way, so I had to have it turned 180 degrees. There are little slots on the connector that'll sit on top of the pins. I guess where the connector goes. I don't know if you can actually see it, but there are 3 little slots there that goes into the actual connector. You can't really put it in the other way around. So while it seems simple, the angle of this is a little weird, and then because the black cable is a little bit longer, it tends to stick out a little bit. So I'm just trying to figure out like how to put the double-sided tape. This is really weird. They have really thin strips, so I'm trying to figure out. It wasn't one of those tapes that you get from like one of those iPhone batteries where you can pull on a tab and it'll come out. This is literally just double-sided tape, and they cut it into very, very small strips, so that I guess it can be used for phones probably. Again, this kit isn't, the toolkits that came with this battery doesn't seem like it's for this specific purpose. It probably is or was intended to be used in some kind of phone or camera or whatever, where I think thin adhesives probably is needed. But in my case, yeah, it really isn't. So I was trying to put this on, trying to figure this out. As you can see, there is a sort of an indentation with an arrow. That is where the original tape were out from the battery is located. And there's a tab where you pull and it'll remove the battery from the inside. So what I had to do is put the double-sided tape onto the metal part, and then when it's on, press it down, and then try to remove the actual tape from the other side. As you can see here, just trying to cut the length. But yeah. So this is the only time that the screwdriver kit came in handy, and I had a flathead, and then start propping or removing the top layer, leaving the double-sided tape on the metal piece or metal shield. So this part's going to take a little bit. Yeah, there's really nothing fancy. It's just tedious work trying to pull the paper off. Luckily, it didn't take much, and I was lucky enough that none of the double-sided tape actually came off. Again, this double-sided tape was not designed for the battery in this unit. It's probably for a phone or a camera, but for what I needed, it probably works just fine. Okay, so now that I'm putting this back on, testing the location, and then trying to get the connectors on. This part also takes a while, and be very careful with the connector. Make sure that you don't bend the pins that are inside of the on the board by pressing it down too hard, or make sure that they do line up. And eventually I think it did get it lined up, and you will hear it click once it's in. There's like two little pieces on the side of that connector that'll clip into the I guess the socket that it's on the board. So once it's on, it'll stay there pretty good. I didn't realize that I need to align it a certain way, so I was trying to move it down towards the center, press it down, and then you'll see later that when I try to install the black cover plastic piece onto it, it didn't quite sit right. So I was just trying to make sure that the rings still rotate properly, and just still trying to see if I can get it fit better. So yeah, as you can see, it's kind of crooked, so it didn't really line up right. So now you have this plate go through the hole from the black plate. You need to have that connector press into that socket. Yeah, be careful, make sure you don't bend anything or break anything. That goes in pretty easily. Once you have this whole thing in there, I was trying to align the bottom plate on top of the battery. And then this is the part where it takes a little bit, where you would kind of have to move things around. What I didn't realize was that the black plate have a few plastic pieces or shapes that basically I guess hold the battery in place. So as you can see here, I was trying to line it up, and it didn't quite feel like it was flat. So what I end up doing is I end up removing the whole thing again, or at least take it apart a little bit, and then reseated the battery, or at least move the battery a little bit so that it will fit into the whatever the slot that is allocated for the battery. That'll fit into the black plate, as you can see here. And this is where I'm trying to figure this out. I'm like, why did it not go flat? And then I realized there are things on it that is the shape of the outline of the battery, basically. So the shape of the battery, while this new battery is bigger than the old one, it did still fit. So they only made it to fit like, well, there's 4 corners, but it only only two of the corners are actually 90-degree corners. So as long as the battery fit into those two corners, this thing will sit in properly. So once it's in there, just make sure that it is like all the way in and it's flat. It didn't quite felt like it was flat, but apparently that was. So I ended up putting the screws back in, and I didn't feel like the screw wasn't like all the way in once you start screwing it into the holes. Um, so so putting all 4 screws in. And if you have to force a screw in, that means you did something wrong. This should go in pretty easily. So now all 4 screws went back in. And then the white plate will need to be put on and then rotated a little bit. So this part is a little bit tricky. When you put it on, the hole that you see here on the top does not actually line up with the USB, was a micro USB port. It's offset a little bit. Once you have it on there, you can twist it, rotate it clockwise, probably about just 2 or 3 degrees, and then it will lock it in place, and then you see the micro USB port sticking out of the hole there. And then there are 2 more tiny little screws to hold the adapter plate connector in place so that it does not move. And then the 2 big ones goes in, and then you're pretty much done. And then once you're done, make sure, I think on even the official repair guide from iFixit, I believe, if that's the last place I looked at, or at least I think on the Amazon site for the battery, it says you need to charge your battery for a certain amount of time before you can use it. So I'm gonna leave it on charged overnight, and hopefully it will fully charge. And so here's you want to kind of test the ring one more time, make sure that it does rotate properly, so it does feel like it's there and it still clicks. Make sure the screen's clean, and that is pretty much the install. And there's really not much to it. Yeah, there you go.